Even before Don Knotts began filming at DeZillu Studios for The Ghost and Mr. Chicken, he had already mastered the nervous character type that he portrayed in The Andy Griffith Show. Knotts first developed this anxious persona during his time on the Steve Allen Plymouth Show from 1957 to 1960. In The Andy Griffith Show, Knotts played the role of Deputy Barney Fife, a character known for his numerous nervous tics. These tics became a signature aspect of Knotts' acting style and were a crucial element of his performance in The Ghost and Mr. Chicken. Despite his success in The Ghost and Mr. Chicken, Knotts remained humble and dedicated to his craft. He continued to hone his skills and took on a variety of roles throughout his career, always bringing his unique brand of nervous energy to the screen. In the late 1950s, Don Knotts began gaining popularity as a skilled comic actor on the Steve Allen Plymouth Show. He was particularly famous for his man-on-the-street skits, which featured numerous nervous tics that left audiences in stitches. Meanwhile, Knotts had also started working alongside Andy Griffith on the beloved sitcom, The Andy Griffith Show. Initially, both actors had agreed to commit to the show for only 5 seasons. As the 5th season drew to a close, Knotts found himself at a crossroads. Despite his success on The Andy Griffith Show, he couldn't shake off his desire to explore other opportunities in the entertainment industry. Specifically, Knotts had always been fascinated by the idea of starring in a movie, especially one that would allow him to showcase his unique brand of humor. Fortunately, fate presented Knotts with just such an opportunity when he received an offer to star in a comedy horror film called The Ghost and Mr. Chicken. Keen to take on the challenge, Knotts approached Griffith and informed him of his decision to leave the show. While Griffith was undoubtedly disappointed to see his colleague go, he understood Knotts' aspirations and wished him all the best. Thus, after much deliberation, Don Knotts made the leap from television to film, leaving behind his successful run on The Andy Griffith Show. His departure marked the beginning of a new chapter in his career, one that would ultimately lead him to even greater heights of fame and recognition. In 1964, during a break from his role in the popular TV show The Andy Griffith Show, Don Knotts took on a new project with Warner Brothers, starring in the film The Incredible Mr. Limpet. This movie showcased Knotts' comedic talents and proved to be a successful venture. Following the success of The Incredible Mr. Limpet, Don Knotts signed a 5-year contract with Universal Studios. This agreement allowed him to create a series of family-friendly comedies, providing him with significant creative control. The contract came at a pivotal time for Knotts, as he anticipated the end of his run on The Andy Griffith Show. Under the terms of his new contract, Knotts went on to star in a number of films, one of which was The Ghost and Mr. Chicken, released in 1966. This film, like many others in Knotts' Universal repertoire, was a light-hearted comedy that showcased his unique comedic style. In The Ghost and Mr. Chicken, Knotts played a character named Luther Heggs, a nervous and bumbling assistant to a newspaper editor. When a ghost is rumored to haunt a local mansion, Heggs seizes the opportunity to spend the night in the mansion and prove the ghost's existence. The film follows Heggs' spooky and comedic adventures as he navigates the haunted mansion and tries to uncover the truth. The Ghost and Mr. Chicken was just one of many films that Knotts made during his time at Universal. His contract with the studio allowed him to establish himself as a leading man in family comedies, and his work during this period remains popular and enduring today. The first film that Knotts made with Universal was inspired by an episode of The Andy Griffith Show called The Haunted House. Universal Studios hired Jim Fritzl and Everett Greenbaum, key writers from The Andy Griffith Show, to write the script for this movie. The film follows the story of a nervous typesetter for a small-town newspaper who is assigned to spend the night in a spooky mansion that is said to be haunted. The character, played by Knotts, must overcome his fear and prove that the ghostly occurrences in the mansion are nothing more than a hoax. Fritzl and Greenbaum brought their signature humor and wit to the script, creating a lighthearted and entertaining film. The duo's experience working on The Andy Griffith Show was evident in the movie's small-town setting and relatable characters. The Ghost and Mr. Chicken, as the movie came to be known, was a success for Universal and helped solidify Knotts' status as a leading man in comedy. The film's blend of humor, suspense, and romance made it a hit with audiences and critics alike. In addition to Knotts, the film featured a talented cast of character actors, including Joan Staley, Dick Sargent, and Lorene Tuttle. The chemistry between the cast members added to the film's charm and helped make it a beloved classic. The success of The Ghost and Mr. Chicken led to further collaborations between Knotts and Universal, cementing their partnership and resulting in many more memorable films. The movie remains a testament to the talents of Knotts, Fritzl, and Greenbaum, and continues to be enjoyed by audiences today. Andy Griffith, already well known for his role in the TV show The Andy Griffith Show, played a significant part in the creation of the 1966 comedy The Ghost and Mr. Chicken. Although he didn't receive official credit, Griffith contributed to the story's construction, lending a hand to his friends behind the scenes. His involvement was motivated by friendship rather than a desire for recognition or financial gain. The script for The Ghost and Mr. Chicken, initially titled Running Scared, took around 3 months to complete. It was a result of careful writing and editing, with Griffith playing an unofficial role in its development. Despite his substantial contribution to the story, he opted not to seek credit, focusing instead on supporting his friends and the project. Griffith's dedication to the film showcases his generosity and commitment to his craft. His involvement in the scriptwriting process, even without official recognition, highlights his passion for storytelling and his willingness to help his friends and colleagues. The movie itself went on to become a beloved comedy, thanks in part to Griffith's unofficial contributions. Set in a small town reminiscent of Mayberry from The Andy Griffith Show, the movie features several familiar faces from the show and other television series. Among them are Bert Mustin, who plays Simpson, the newspaper editor; Ellen Corby, known for her role as Esther Walton on The Waltons, who appears as Mistress Halcyon Maxwell; and Charles Lane, seen in countless films and TV shows, who takes on the role of Judge Frost. Lorraine Tuttle portrays Alma Parker, while Rita Shaw plays Kitty Collins. Both actresses bring their unique charm to the screen, enhancing the film's warm and inviting atmosphere. Additionally, actor Hal Smith, best recognized as Otis Campbell from The Andy Griffith Show, makes an appearance as Reverend Forrest. His performance adds a touch of humor and lightheartedness to the storyline. This star-studded cast, along with Don Knotts in the leading role as Luther Heggs, creates a delightful viewing experience filled with laughter, suspense, and nostalgia. Whether you're a fan of classic television or simply looking for an enjoyable movie night, this film promises to deliver wholesome entertainment for all audiences. In the 1966 movie, a memorable phrase that gained popularity was "Attaboy Luther." Interestingly, the voice behind this phrase was that of the film's screenwriter, Everett Greenbaum. This led to a trend of people incorporating the phrase into their speeches and events. The Simmons Mansion, a significant location in the movie, is situated next to the Monster Mansion on Universal's Colonial Street. This street has been the setting for numerous TV shows, although it is not the same house as the one used in Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. The Simmons Mansion, a grand and eerie building, plays a pivotal role in the movie's plot. The mansion's ominous presence adds to the film's suspenseful atmosphere, creating a sense of anticipation and unease for the movie's protagonist, Luther Heggs. In summary, the phrase "Attaboy Luther" and the Simmons Mansion are two memorable elements of the 1966 movie. The former became a popular catchphrase, while the latter served as a significant backdrop for the film's spooky storyline. The 1966 movie, often fondly remembered, was shot using Technicolor's Techniscope widescreen process. This method, while cost-effective, resulted in a grainy image that limited its use in Hollywood. Despite this, the movie has remained a favorite among many. One notable aspect of the movie is the use of the phrase, "Why don't you run up an alley and holler fish?" This phrase was also used in The Andy Griffith Show, and originated from one of the screenwriter's childhood in Philadelphia. Its inclusion in the movie adds a touch of nostalgia and humor that has contributed to its enduring appeal. The movie follows the story of a mild-mannered man who gets the opportunity to spend a night in a haunted house. The events that follow are both thrilling and comedic, making for an entertaining experience. The show's ability to balance these two elements is one of the reasons for its lasting popularity. Despite being over 5 decades old, the movie remains relevant and continues to be enjoyed by audiences today. Its use of the Techniscope process, while producing a grainy image, adds a certain charm that enhances its vintage appeal. Meanwhile, the inclusion of the famous phrase adds a touch of humor and nostalgia that has endeared the movie to many. All in all, the movie is a testament to the power of storytelling and the enduring appeal of a well-crafted show. In one exciting scene of the movie, a stunt double had to step in for Don Knotts' character, Luther Heggs. This daredevil performer took the plunge, quite literally, when Luther falls into a malfunctioning elevator. To maintain the illusion, Don Knotts wore a hat during the shot. hoping to trick the audience into thinking it was really him taking the tumble. Later in the film, we see another fascinating detail, a newspaper article penned by none other than Luther himself. As the camera zooms in, viewers will notice something peculiar about its layout. Identical columns appear on both sides of the page, but they're subtly offset, creating an intriguing visual effect. This small design choice adds depth to the scene, making us appreciate the attention paid to even minor aspects of production. While some might overlook these subtle nuances, they contribute significantly to our overall viewing experience, enhancing the story being told through careful craftsmanship and thoughtful execution. In the 1966 movie, the character Luther drives a unique car, a 1958 Edsel Corsair. This car model, produced by the Ford Corporation, was short-lived and gained a reputation for being somewhat of a flop. The choice of this car for Luther's character reinforces his persona as a lovable loser, adding a touch of humor to the film. Don Knotts, who plays Luther, has a love interest in the movie named Alma Parker, portrayed by Joan Staley. For her role, Staley wore a dark wig, which may have been a deliberate choice to differentiate her character from her real-life persona. Interestingly, before her acting career, Joan Staley was a Playboy playmate, having been featured in the November 1958 issue. However, in the movie, her character is portrayed modestly, and there is no reference to her past as a playmate. In summary, the 1966 movie features a lovable loser character named Luther, who drives a unique and infamous car model, the 1958 Edsel Corsair. Don Knotts, who plays Luther, has a love interest in the film, Alma Parker, played by Joan Staley, who donned a dark wig for the role, and was a Playboy playmate in November 1958. The film's title, The Ghost and Mr. Chicken, is a playful nod to the 1947 movie The Ghost and Mistress Muir. In the movie's thrilling climax, the character Luther Heggs, played by Don Knotts, bravely saves Alma Parker, portrayed by Joan Staley, from danger. As a reward for his bravery and heroism, the two marry in a small, intimate ceremony. The ceremony concludes with a spooky organ music from the Simmons mansion playing by itself, hinting at the presence of a real ghost. This unexpected and eerie occurrence adds an element of intrigue and mystery to the film's conclusion, leaving audiences wondering about the true nature of the ghost and its connection to the newlyweds. The movie, despite having a small budget, managed to achieve commercial success at the box office. This accomplishment was significant, as it demonstrated that movies with modest production values could still attract large audiences and generate substantial revenue. Universal Studios recognized the potential of comedy films featuring the movie's star, and subsequently produced several more movies in quick succession. These included The Reluctant Astronaut, The Shakiest Gun in the West, and How to Frame a Fig. All three movies were released between 1967 and 1971, further solidifying the actor's status as a bankable comedic talent. The success of the movie also helped establish the studio's reputation for producing high-quality comedies. By focusing on humor and lighthearted storytelling, Universal found a successful formula that resonated with audiences looking for entertainment and escapism. As a result, the studio continued to invest in comedies throughout the late 1960s and early 1970s, cementing its place as a major player in the industry. The Ghost and Chicken, a 1966 comedy film, is a true showcase of character actors and actresses. This movie brings together a talented group of character actors who each bring their own unique flair to the screen. Don Knotts, known for his comedic timing, plays the lead role of Luther Heggs, a nervous and bumbling typesetter for a small-town newspaper. Knotts is supported by a cast of experienced character actors, including Dick Sargent, who plays the confident and smug rival newspaper editor, George Beckett. The film also features Joan Staley as Alma, the love interest of Knotts' character. Staley, known for her work in television and film, brings a charm and sweetness to her role that perfectly complements Knotts' comedic performance. But it's not just the main cast that shines in this film. The Ghost and Chicken also boasts a talented ensemble of character actors in supporting roles. Lorene Tuttle, a veteran character actress with over 200 film and television credits to her name, plays Knotts' overbearing and eccentric Aunt Martha. And let's not forget about the iconic character actor, Skip Homeyer, who plays the menacing and mysterious Nick Simmons. Homeyer, known for his versatility and range, delivers a chilling performance that adds an element of suspense to the film. The Ghost and Chicken is a true testament to the power of character actors and actresses. Each actor brings their own unique style, and personality to the film, creating a rich and diverse tapestry of characters that elevates the story and adds depth to the comedy. In fact, the film is often remembered for its impressive collection of character actors, with many fans praising the casting choices and the memorable performances. From the bumbling lead to the overbearing aunt and the menacing villain, each character is distinct and memorable, making The Ghost and Chicken a true standout in the world of character-driven comedy films. In 1966, a comedy film titled The Ghost and Mr. Chicken hit the screens, leaving audiences in stitches. This movie tells the story of Luther Heggs, a young reporter who spends a haunted night in a reputedly ghostly house to prove his courage and mettle. Set in the small town of Rachel, Kansas, during the mid-20th century, the film explores themes of bravery, love, and self-discovery. With its quirky characters, witty dialogue, and slapstick humor, it has become a beloved classic among fans of vintage cinema. Luther Heggs, played by Don Knotts, is an earnest yet bumbling newspaper reporter tasked with spending a night alone in the ominous Simmons mansion. As he navigates through creaky floorboards, eerie sounds, and spectral apparitions, Heggs must overcome his fears and uncover the truth behind the supposed haunting. Directed by Alan Rafkin, the movie features memorable performances from talented actors like Joan Staley, Dick Sargent, and Liam Redman. Their collective efforts have helped cement The Ghost and Mr. Chicken as a timeless piece of American popular culture. In the bustling world of Hollywood during the mid-1960s, the casting process for the comedy film The Ghost and Mr. Chicken was well underway. This lighthearted movie, directed by Alan Rafkin and released in 1966, starred the ever-charming Don Knotts as Luther Heggs, a small-town newspaper typesetter who dreams of becoming a star reporter. The film also featured Joan Staley as Alma Parker, the romantic interest, and Dick Sargent as George, Luther's rival for Alma's affections. Don Knotts, already a well-known name in the industry, was a natural choice for the lead role. Having gained fame for his portrayal of Barney Fife on The Andy Griffith Show, Knotts brought his signature, comedic timing, and charm to the part of Luther Heggs. The film's producers, Filmways, saw Knotts' potential to draw in audiences and capitalize on his existing fan base. Joan Staley, an accomplished actress and former beauty queen, was cast as Alma Parker, the love interest. Staley had already made a name for herself in Hollywood, appearing in various TV shows and movies. Her chemistry with Knotts was evident during the audition process, and the film's producers believed she would be the perfect counterbalance to Knotts' comedic style. Dick Sargent, a seasoned actor known for his roles in television and film, was cast as George, the antagonist and romantic rival. Sargent's ability to portray both comedic and dramatic elements made him an ideal fit for the role. His character added depth to the storyline and provided a formidable adversary for Knotts' character, Luther Heggs. During the audition process, the chemistry between the actors was palpable. Knotts, Staley, and Sargent demonstrated a natural rapport, which was crucial for the film's success. Their ability to play off each other's strengths and weaknesses helped create a cohesive and entertaining on-screen dynamic. One pivotal moment during the casting process involved a scene where Knotts and Staley's characters shared a romantic moment. The chemistry between the two was undeniable, and the film's producers knew they had found their leading lady. In conclusion, the casting process for The Ghost and Mr. Chicken was a carefully curated selection of talented actors. Don Knotts, Joan Staley, and Dick Sargent each brought their unique skills and charisma to the film, creating a memorable and entertaining experience for audiences. The Ghost and Mr. Chicken, directed by Alan Rafkin, is a testament to his comedic vision. Known for his work in television and film, Rafkin brought a unique style to the big screen. He approached the story of a nervous typesetter, played by Don Knotts, who spends a night in a haunted house with a blend of humor and suspense. Rafkin's creative influences were rooted in classic comedy. He admired the work of Charlie Chaplin and Buster Keaton, and their influence can be seen in his use of physical comedy and timing. Rafkin's direction was characterized by a fast pace and a focus on visual gags, which he used to great effect in The Ghost and Mr. Chicken. Collaboration was key to Rafkin's approach. He worked closely with the cast and crew, creating an environment that encouraged creativity and experimentation. Don Knotts, who had worked with Rafkin on The Andy Griffith Show, credited the director with helping him develop his character and comedic timing. Rafkin's style was also evident in his use of music. The film's score, composed by Vic Mizzy, featured catchy tunes that added to the comedic tone. The famous Ghost and Mr. Chicken theme song, with its playful and upbeat melody, became synonymous with the film. In addition to his work with the cast and crew, Rafkin paid close attention to detail in the film's set design and cinematography. The haunted house, for example, was designed to be both spooky and humorous, with creaky floorboards and secret passages. The use of wide-angle lenses and high-contrast lighting added to the film's eerie atmosphere. Overall, Alan Rafkin's directorial vision for The Ghost and Mr. Chicken was one of humor, collaboration, and attention to detail. His approach brought the story to life in a way that has resonated with audiences for decades. The Ghost and Mr. Chicken, a 1966 comedy film, was a fun production with its share of challenges. Set design was crucial to the story, and the crew had to create a convincing haunted house. They used a mix of old furniture, cobwebs, and eerie sounds to make the house seem genuinely spooky. Filming took place in California, with the crew transforming a regular home into the haunted mansion. They even added a secret room behind a bookcase. Logistically, the production faced some hurdles. Coordinating the cast and crew, managing props, and ensuring continuity between scenes was no easy task. But the team managed to pull it off, creating a memorable movie experience. As for innovative techniques, the film employed the use of then-new color film technology. This allowed for a more vibrant and engaging viewing experience, adding to the overall atmosphere of the movie. In the end, The Ghost and Mr. Chicken stands as a testament to the hard work and creativity of the film industry. It's a fun and entertaining movie that continues to delight audiences to this day. In 1966, the comedy horror film The Ghost and Mr. Chicken delighted audiences with its spooky and humorous tale. A significant part of its charm was the musical score and soundtrack, which perfectly complemented the narrative and emotional tone of the movie. Don Alt, the film's music supervisor, played a crucial role in creating the film's musical atmosphere. He chose the perfect pieces to enhance the film's comedic and eerie scenes. One of the most memorable musical moments is the film's main title theme, The Ghost in the Invisible Bikini, performed by the Kingsmen. This upbeat surf rock tune sets the stage for the film's lighthearted and humorous tone. The film's score, composed by Vic Mizzy, further enhances the narrative. Mizzy, known for his work on TV shows like Green Acres and The Addams Family, brought his unique style to The Ghost and Mr. Chicken. His score features catchy, memorable melodies that perfectly capture the film's small-town setting and the characters' emotions. For instance, the score's main theme, a lively and playful tune, often accompanies the protagonist, Luther Heggs, as he navigates the spooky events in the town. The music adds a layer of humor and lightness to the film's eerie moments, ensuring that the audience remains engaged and entertained. The film's soundtrack also includes several songs performed by the characters themselves. These songs, such as Luther's song, add to the film's charm and help to further develop the characters. In conclusion, the musical score and soundtrack of The Ghost and Mr. Chicken played a significant role in the film's success. The combination of Don Alt's music supervision, Vic Mizzy's compositions, and the character-performed songs created a musical atmosphere that perfectly complemented the film's narrative and emotional tone. One of the most iconic scenes in The Ghost and Mr. Chicken is the midnight tour of the creepy old mansion, Lane House. Luther Heggs, played by Don Knotts, wins a chance to spend the night in the mansion, which is rumored to be haunted. As he explores the house, the tension builds. Director Alan Rafkin expertly uses shadows and darkness to create a spooky atmosphere. The creaky floorboards, howling wind, and eerie sounds add to the suspense. Cinematographer Irving Lerner masterfully frames each shot, using wide angles to capture the vastness of the mansion and close-ups to highlight Knott's reactions. Knott's performance is exceptional. His wide-eyed expressions, nervous tics, and comedic timing are on full display as he encounters various spooky occurrences. His portrayal of Luther Heggs, a small-town newspaper reporter, is both endearing and hilarious. In an interview, Knott said, "The scene in Lane House was a challenge. I had to balance the fear and the humor. I wanted the audience to laugh, but also feel the suspense. The scene has a significant impact on the audience. It's a perfect blend of horror and comedy, a signature style of Knott's films. The scene sets the tone for the rest of the movie and leaves a lasting impression." Another iconic scene is the final courtroom sequence. Luther Heggs is accused of causing a disturbance at Lane House and faces a trial. The courtroom is filled with townsfolk, and the tension is palpable. Director Rafkin uses close-ups to capture the reactions of the characters, building suspense. The camera pans across the courtroom, highlighting the anticipation of the townsfolk. The lighting is dramatic, with spotlights on the witness stand and the judge's bench. Knott's performance is outstanding. His portrayal of Luther Heggs, a nervous but determined defendant, is both funny and heartwarming. His courtroom testimony is a highlight of the scene, showcasing his comedic timing and acting skills. In an interview, Knott said, "The courtroom scene was my favorite. I love the energy and the tension. I wanted to make sure I got the balance of humor and drama just right. The scene has a significant impact on the audience. It's a satisfying conclusion to the movie, with Luther Heggs proving his innocence and overcoming his fears. The scene resonates with the audience, leaving them with a sense of satisfaction and joy." The Ghost and Mr. Chicken, a 1966 comedy film, left a significant cultural and social impact. Starring Don Knotts as Luther Heggs, a nervous typesetter for a small-town newspaper, the movie resonated with audiences through its humor and relatable characters. Set in the fictional town of Rachel, Kansas, the story revolves around Luther's attempt to prove he's a fearless reporter by spending a night in the town's haunted mansion, the Old Simmons House. The film's success can be attributed to its blend of comedy, suspense, and romance, which struck a chord with middle American values and small-town life. The Ghost and Mr. Chicken contributed to pop culture in various ways. Knott's character, Luther Heggs, became an archetype for the bumbling, yet lovable, underdog. The film's memorable scenes, such as the spiraling staircase sequence and the climactic seance, have been referenced and parodied in numerous TV shows and movies. Moreover, the movie sparked discussions on relevant social themes. While not overtly addressing specific cultural issues, it explored the power of fear, the importance of friendship, and the value of self-confidence. Audiences connected with these themes as they reflected common human experiences and emotions. The Ghost and Mr. Chicken also showcased the talents of its supporting cast, including Joan Staley, Dick Sargent, and Liam Redmond. Their performances added depth to the story and further endeared the film to its audience. In conclusion, The Ghost and Mr. Chicken resonated with audiences through its humor, relatable characters, and exploration of universal themes. Its influence on pop culture and contribution to discussions on social and cultural themes have solidified its place as a beloved classic in American cinema. The Ghost and Mr. Chicken, a 1966 comedy film, received mixed reviews from critics. However, it was a success at the box office and gained a substantial audience following. The film stars Don Knotts as Luther Heggs, a small-town newspaper reporter who spends a night in a haunted house to prove its ghostly inhabitants are a hoax. Noted film critic Bosley Crowther of the New York Times gave the film a mediocre review, stating Don Knotts goes through his familiar, flustered routines as a cub reporter. Conversely, Variety praised Knotts' performance, writing, "Knotts is in top form, his comedy well-timed and never forced." Despite the mixed critical reception, The Ghost and Mr. Chicken resonated with audiences. It became one of Knotts' most popular films and solidified his status as a leading comedic actor. The film's success also led to Knotts' departure from his successful role as Barney Fife on The Andy Griffith Show to pursue a film career. The Ghost and Mr. Chicken did not receive any major award nominations. However, its impact on audiences and the comedy genre is noteworthy. The film's blend of slapstick humor, suspense, and supernatural elements created a unique viewing experience that has endured for over 5 decades. In conclusion, while The Ghost and Mr. Chicken may not have been a critical success, its popularity with audiences and Knotts' memorable performance have made it a beloved film in the comedy genre. The film's success allowed Knotts to further his film career and solidified his place as a talented comedic actor. While filming The Ghost and Mr. Chicken in 1966, the cast and crew shared some amusing anecdotes. Actor Don Knotts reportedly struggled to keep a straight face during the courthouse scene, causing numerous retakes. Additionally, the haunted organ in the movie actually malfunctioned during filming, creating unexpected comedic moments. Actress Joan Staley recounted how the cast bonded over late-night conversations and impromptu jam sessions on set. Despite the spooky theme of the film, behind the scenes, laughter and camaraderie reigned supreme. The Ghost and Mr. Chicken, released in 1966, is a comedy horror film that has left an indelible mark on the film industry. Starring Don Knotts as Luther Heggs, a small-town newspaper reporter, the movie tells the tale of a haunted house and a courageous man's quest to uncover the truth. This film has had a significant impact on future filmmaking, particularly in the comedy and horror genres. Its unique blend of humor and suspense has inspired numerous filmmakers to create their own versions of this successful formula. The Ghost and Mr. Chicken has also been noted for its influence on the development of the haunted house trope in cinema. One of the most notable subsequent works inspired by The Ghost and Mr. Chicken is the popular 1980s film, Ghostbusters. Both films share a common theme of ordinary people becoming paranormal investigators, and they both incorporate comedic elements into their storylines. Additionally, The Ghost and Mr. Chicken has had a lasting influence on popular culture. The film's iconic scenes, such as Luther's overnight stay in the haunted house, have become ingrained in the public consciousness and continue to be referenced in various forms of media. In conclusion, The Ghost and Mr. Chicken has left a lasting legacy in the world of film. Its innovative approach to combining comedy and horror has inspired countless filmmakers and continues to resonate with audiences today. Did you know that The Ghost and Mr. Chicken celebrates its 57th anniversary this year? This comedy film has left a lasting impression on many, bringing laughter and joy to audiences since 1966. If you're one of those people who hold fond memories of this classic flick, we would love to hear from you. Share your favorite scenes or lines in the comments section below. Tell us about the first time you saw it and what made it so special to you. How did it influence your perception of cinema back then, and perhaps even now? We want to create a space where fellow fans can reminisce together. If you enjoyed watching our content, don't forget to hit the like button and spread the word around. Share this post with others who might have watched and loved The Ghost and Mr. Chicken. Let's get a conversation started. And if you're new here, consider hitting that subscription button for more exciting trips down memory lane. Together, let's celebrate these timeless movies that continue to resonate with generations.